This year has been an amazing programme, and there were 3 standout sessions for me. It was fantastic to start with user experience, putting users at the heart of what we do. I loved hearing about crisis management from the Welsh Ombudsman, a frank and helpful presentation. And it was fantastic to hear about the way you can make process improvements without having extra funding. I think for me there's been a key takeaway across all the sessions, which was about involving staff at every level of the organisation, explaining what you're doing and communicating successes early. I can use 2 words to describe the conference. I think it's been geekily enthusiastic, and it's been such a rejuvenating environment to be in with colleagues who are passionate about their work.
For the conference so far, my favourite session has been the first plenary session with ARC when they were talking about user experience. Really great to see the people that came along to explain, and the video that they gave, just showing how that they want to be listened to as well, and that we shouldn't exclude. So yeah, that was really fascinating, and it was really enlightening. So winning the Impact and Innovation Award this year, felt really privileged and really proud. It's really important for me to say that it wasn't just me. I had a team behind me that actually really supported the work we did, and we did it together. If I could have brought them with me, then I would have done, but unfortunately that wasn't the case to be. One thing that I found about the conference this year, it's really interesting to see other people in different sectors but experiencing the same issues that we experience at the Housing Ombudsman. So that's really helpful, and it makes you feel like you're not the only person battling that issue.
So I would say my favourite was the opening plenary on Tuesday morning, and that had a focus on user engagement. So partly because we had 2 really excellent local experts from here in Belfast, Leslie Ann from ARC and Laura Lundy from Queen's University. So not only were their presentations really engaging and informative, but it was also really directly aligned to a piece of work that we'll be taking forward this year in NIPSO, looking at more child-friendly complaints and resources for young people. So it was really relevant to something that we're going to be taking forward. I think in terms of takeaways, there have been so many, but there was something that Gerard Deering said in his the session on raising awareness that kind of has stayed with me, and I'm thinking about how we might do that better at NIPSO, and that's around using your engagement, but being able to measure the impact of that in terms of, have you seen a noticeable increase in your complaints coming in from a particular group? So I think we haven't really looked at that so far in the office, so that's certainly been a takeaway for me. That's something we're going to build into this year's activity for us. Summarising in one word is quite tricky, but I think the word that came to mind when you asked me that was engaging. So I think it's felt really collaborative and inclusive event. I think the content has felt very easy to engage with. I think all the presenters really very clearly worked hard to make their content relevant to as wide an audience as possible, and that was really appreciated. And I think there was a clear focus also on engagement in terms of the content and the role of the Ombudsman, which, given the role that I have, has felt really relevant and useful.
So my favourite session so far, I'm a little bit torn. I thought the session with ARC Northern Ireland this morning was really interesting. We had members of the Telling It Like It Is group, people who have learning disabilities who really engage with services that they use and help sort of teach people how to approach people with learning disabilities and adapt their services for them. And I thought that was fascinating, and it really wasn't a lens that I'd thought of these things through before. So I really enjoyed that. I also really enjoyed measuring success with the local government and social care ombudsman. I thought that was a really interesting piece of research about the impacts of their public interest reports, and I'll be really looking forward to reading the paper when it's peer reviewed and published. So I think one key takeaway from the conference for me so far is actually how important it is to have the conference. I think having all of the different representatives from Ombudsman around the country, and indeed the overseas territories, in one room is a really good way of learning from each other and talking to each other about the different challenges in Ombudsman world, and I think it's been really good, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the conference.
That's a difficult question because many of the sessions were excellent. I think probably the final one, how to deliver change with no money, because that's the reality of what a lot of Ombudsman organisations face. So that was very inspirational. I enjoyed that one. One key takeaway is you can deliver change without a lot of money. If you've got a clear plan, you focus on the needs of the consumer and you take your staff with you, then you don't need a lot of money to deliver change. So that's probably my key takeaway that has inspired me to go back and do a better job in my organisation. One word: inspirational.